just the way he talked to each woman, not just me, with such love and reverence and kindness. Like, this is years of hard work. This is years of getting up early and sacrificing, and the discipline daily in and out that he has sacrificed, and our family bears the fruit of that.
It's important for women to sometimes say, hey, I'm here. If you're interested, like, let's go. And then it's up to the man to just continue that, right? And instead of the guessing and all of the games that can happen, it's very clear. And I think that is needed today because there's so much lack of clarity today in a lot of arenas.
People need 13 physical cues if you're interested in someone before they realize it.
Yeah,
so
average,
even more so when there isn't that physical presence online, you need to be more direct.
Can you please give our women some prompts and our men that if you see this prompt, it means she's interested? Safe bet, people you can pursue, please.
If she invites you to do...
Hello. I wanted to ask you for a huge favor. If this podcast has blessed you in any way, please consider subscribing on whatever platform you consume this content. I cannot tell you how much it blesses us because the algorithm listens to what you guys say when you subscribe, when you like, when you comment, and then it pushes this content in the hearts of people who need to be evangelized. So please help us spread the gospel by clicking subscribe and by leaving a comment and by liking this video.
Hello, it's Elizabeth Busby here, and welcome to Discerning Marriage. I am going to let you guys into this piece of my heart that I haven't really shared on the internet yet, but the Lord is inviting me to share it. I have this incredible story of deepening love for the Father and courageous picking up of a cross that he's given me that has been really guided by the content of a creator on Instagram. And some of you might be like, what? And some of you might be like, oh, I get it. And that content creator is Claire Couche. And this has been, I am not kidding you people, 6 years in the making of the way that I've watched this woman's, like I've followed her for so long. I've watched her content evolve over time, which happens with creators, of course. You're answering the call of the Lord. And so she used to speak a lot more publicly on some of the things we'll reference here, which is not how the Lord's taken her ministry now. But I'm just so excited. I don't even know. Okay, so I'm going to cry, and I just need you guys to be ready for it. This is a deeply meaningful episode for me, personally, on a personal level. And I just wanted to...
Just be mindful of the microphone.
Do I need to start over? No. You're going to keep this in one? Okay. You're going to keep it in. Okay. And you guys are just getting a peek behind the veil over here at the Discerning Marriage podcast. Let's just go ahead and welcome them. Mike and Claire from Finding Philothea. Welcome to my deeply emotional, heart-sharing moment, people. I can't believe this is happening.
Thank you for having us, Elizabeth. Especially throughout the years, talking in messages. And then even yesterday, I was like, that was a little visitation moment for us, just seeing one another after years. And it was beautiful because someone asked me, did you two meet before? How do you know? And I was like, no, just through Instagram, our messages. And I think Instagram can be tough in a lot of ways, but there's so much beauty, especially the connections made. And you're one of those people, and it's an honor to be here. So thank you.
Thank you. And what's so amazing too is like when I started consuming your content, I was not really a creator. Like I had this dream for it, but I had written this course for discerning marriage. And so the Lord put it on my heart through the intercession of Maximilian Colby, like, you also got to be where the people are, right? You got to go. Yes. And so he was like, go out into the deep and lower your nets for a catch. And I was like, but that's a really scary deep, and there are piranhas there, and I'm not brave enough. And so it was like this wading in, and part of how I got in was the Lord was like, just consume the content of people who love me. And your love for the Lord has radiated. And you used to, I've noticed you've sort of brought it back some, but you used to do these beautiful just story screenshots of quotes. And I remember being like, this isn't that scary. Like, I can do this. So I was consuming this content, and it was working on my heart in a way that needed to be worked on. I had a huge idol. We'll see if there's time to go into it. But I had this huge idol that I didn't know was an idol that the Lord allowed me to, he, in his wisdom, shattered my golden calf, ground it up, made me drink it. It was bitter and awful. And on the other side, I was like, okay, I'm more free to do this work, to love my family and to do this digital mission.
Yes.
And your content played such a role in that because you were carrying the cross I was carrying so much better than me. And that's what we're meant to do with each other, right? It's like everyone has different graces. And so it gave me this courage. I didn't have people in my real life who were carrying that cross of infertility. Probably should have led with you guys are really just like in our living room right now. Okay.
Welcome in.
We have both carried the cross of fertility struggles. And actually, Christopher West is very strict with everybody in a loving way of don't use the language infertility, because couples who have fertility struggles are more fertile than couples who are physically fertile but closed to the Lord. He's very clear with that. So I try really hard not to
even more.
Right? I try so hard not to say infertility, because he's like, you are so fertile and you won't see it till you get to glory.
Beautiful. Wow.
And all of this, all like my whole ministry would not exist if my fertility had unfolded the way I wanted it to. And I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here doing this. This wouldn't be happening, people. I would not have a producer. I'd be doing this during nap time in my kitchen. And that was not as good of a quality as my having, all of this is from that cross. But I learned how to carry the cross from watching you on the internet. And it gave me the encouragement to really dive into this digital mission because I could see the impact it could have. And we never met in person. It was literally just like DMs. But your love for the Lord.
Thank you. He's so good to us. And like you said, even in those crosses, it has been a journey for us with our fertility journey. My mom is one of 12. I'm one of 6. And it never in our wildest dreams that we'd have these fertility issues. And yes, we conceived our son. He's a honeymoon baby. And we just didn't think we'd be having the secondary infertility. But it's been, there's been so much suffering in it, but that's where Christ is within the suffering. And there is joy in that surrender. And I know we've experienced every feeling, emotion involved in it, but we're at such a place of peace and joy and acceptance. And even 8 years ago, I would have been crying, talking about like this topic is too sensitive. And if you're in that place right now, it's a real place, but don't sit in that. Don't sit in that. Look, Christ's hand is reaching out to pick you up within that. He is in some of his greatest work was on the cross in that suffering. In that suffering. Yeah. And he is with us so intimately in that. But yes.
And people who don't consume content this way will be like, what? And people who do consume content this way will be like, oh, I get it. But I'm not exaggerating when I say like, you had your surgery. So let me tell the internet. I also have I have the diagnosis of secondary infertility. My middle child is adopted. My third child was a NaPro miracle baby. We did all the things. And my fourth child was the only one conceived without any medical intervention, but we just gave him back to the Lord. He just died. We miscarried him. And so, who knows? Praise God though, because I'm gonna be honest with you people. I might want you to take this out, but we'll see. I'm gonna say it and then we'll see that. Before, when I was struggling with those fertility struggles for so long, so many empty wombs, so many sonograms of empty wombs. It's one of the most depressing things I feel like you can look at is a sonogram of an empty womb, because you're like, that's not the way this was supposed to be. Agony. And I would have these sonogram appointments and the bathroom would be shared between 2 rooms. So I'd be changing and I would hear someone's first ultrasound and their live baby, and I'd go into my empty womb. And I remember thinking, Lord, if you would be willing to just entrust me with a life, even if I gave this life back, I think that would hurt less. And it did because now I have an intercessor in heaven and people understand the depth of the pain. And so they're like, I'm so sorry. Can I bring you a meal? Can I come to his funeral? I got to bury his body. So my husband got to watch us bury our child. But when it was an empty womb over and over, it's just hard to understand how we bear it in our body as women. And I've talked to so many people, so many friends of ours who they're struggling to connect over, like she's devastated every month. And he's like, but why? And anyway, it just is it's a learning to dance together, this dance of agony that leads to ecstasy. And we've walked it and y'all have walked it. And so that's our story. So it's beautiful to have the suffering now that is communal through Tristan's life, Tristan Leo, our little baby. Whereas before it was lonely. It was lonely. And the Lord met me in that loneliness, praise God, and rescued me from it. But it's anyway, so I, like, as I was going through all this, I found you through the secondary infertility stuff when both of us, so you still have one baby, we had not pursued the adoption, we not pursued the other stuff. And so I literally have been like following in your steps. Like you had a surgery. I was like, okay, I was close to it before, but I was like, let's do it. So I had the big surgery, right?
Yes.
And I had it didn't lead to a baby. So that's not why we pursued adoption, but the timing worked out beautifully. We have this beautiful, we adopted this baby anyway. So then you were like, but I reached this point of surrender and I was like, oh, what? You like stopped praying for a baby and you started praying for health. And I was like, never, Lord. And he was like, but maybe, Eliza. And I was like, okay. And so then I got there. So then he shattered the idol. And I was like, oh yeah, she was right. This is so much more, it's better on this side. There's so much more freedom. She was right about that. So then the Lord gave us Blazy. And then, so anyway, I've literally like followed in your digital footsteps this entire time. And so just to have you here is just so amazing.
It's a gift. It's a gift. And you, on the flip side too, you've been such a support along the way, because when you say lonely, it is lonely. It's isolating.
Yes.
And to even get a message in your DMs that I'm going through this too, is a balm to the heart. It really is.
Praise God.
So thank you for your presence and your openness too, because it is a tender thing and a vulnerable thing to share. But if you're listening, you aren't alone in this. And I want you to know you are, because the evil one wants to make us feel alone, especially in those moments or divide you from your spouse, or he doesn't understand. But no, the union and community is essential during those parts.
Yes. And something that I just want to clue you in on. So when we're talking about it, so they used to live in New York. I used to live in DFW in Texas, and they fell in love with Word on Fire, and I was really good friends with people who worked with Word on Fire because the Word on Fire Institute's in Dallas. And so I was like desperately trying to get Claire a job down here so that we could meet in real life and be friends. And then we finally succeeded actually in Mike getting a job, and we got a job at the Theology Institute, and we moved in May of 2021. When did you move?
August of 21.
August.
So literally, I got a DM from Claire, and it literally said, but what about Texas? And I was like, girl, I don't know what about Texas. Originally, we thought we were only going to be up here for 2 years, but then the Lord has blessed us abundantly. So now we're settling here, which is beautiful, and a deep grief because I love Texas and I love the community that we have so many mutual friends now because my husband grew up at the parish that they now go to, but also like my parents. Did you know my parents are buried at St. Philip?
No.
So my parents are buried at St. Philip. So anyway, so I know you have ties to St. Philip and Father McDaniel. So anyways, I've been watching on the internet all these things and mutual friends watching all these things. And every time a new friend meets you, I see on the internet, I'm like, Jen, did you meet Claire? And she's like, yes, I met Claire. I met Claire. Anyway, and so I just like, the Lord, our paths missed. And I was like, okay, Jesus, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I'm following you. You will allow it to happen in your time. And it is 2025 right now. And he did it.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we
are.
Year of hope.
So,
year of hope.
I
love
know,
it.
It's the Jubilee year of hope. Okay. So this was actually not our assignment. We were talking about your discernment story, but I'm just going to cry and I need my people to know why I'm weeping. Okay. So let's talk about your discernment story. And it's going to lead us to something I really want to talk about, which is the 24 saints. What do you call them?
24 Club.
24 Club.
I just love that.
That's cute.
Yes, I love that.
I call them the 24 saints, but I'm so excited. Why don't I just ask you, help me, producer. Do I ask them the discernment story question or do I go into the 24 saints? Tell me what to do, please, because I am too excited.
I think you should just follow the conversation.
Great. So listen, guys, here's another cool thing about me and Claire, okay? When I was 24, I was studying for my first master's and I was doing deep diving into theology of the body, writing my thesis, but longing and aching for my spouse. I don't remember how much of my story I've shared publicly. So I'll say I had a terrible breakup after college. I was like, it was devastating. I'm still unpacking the wounds that came from that, because, I thought I was going to marry that boy. And that was not what the Lord had for me. And so it took me a long time of longing. I did like a 2-year dating fast. It was a thing. And then the Lord invited me to start dating again. I was like, I really don't want to. He was like, well, if you're going to get married, you got to. I was like, fine. And so I discovered through the Lord's providence these group of saints who all died when they were 24. If you see my episode with Cameron Richter, I don't know his last name, forgot. What is it? Riker. So great. Go watch that one. I talked about this briefly, that there are 5. I'm going to let you tell me this story. But we both discovered these saints independently, right? We weren't friends. We didn't know each other.
Yes.
And I didn't find, they were so important to my discernment story. My 24 gift, I was like, they want to give me a gift because I'm going to let Claire, was my husband. Meanwhile, across the country in Buffalo, New York, these saints were also speaking to the heart of another woman in the same way. She posted about it on the internet. I was like, you've got to be, my besties were like, did you? That's weird. I was like, no, they're real.
I know. We're spiritual sisters for sure.
So I'm going to let you tell them.
And it just shows the communion of saints. They're a lot. They are our best friends. So that seed was planted for me when I was 12. My mom handed me a prayer card of Pier Giorgio Frassati. And I was like, thank God I'm Catholic. This man is very handsome. Yeah, he is. But she asked me to pray for my brothers. And I started researching his life because just even the picture of him, I was just so drawn to him. And then I discovered through reading about him that he died at 24. And I remember hearing that Saint Therese of Lisieux died at 24, and she's my confirmation saint. And then as I'm researching, more saints popped up. So Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, Saint Gabriel of Our Lady of Sorrows, and Saint Elizabeth of Hungary.
Which is how I got in there, because Elizabeth.
It's so this group, I'm like, God must have this beautiful, special bond with this age. It's endearing to the heart of God. I think that age. So I prayed for a gift, and at the age of 24. So up the years leading to that, I was praying every single day through the intercession of them.
When did you were you 12 when you made the connection of all 5 of them?
So throughout the years.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And then throughout the years, I would pray for a gift at 24. So for years, I was praying for this gift at 24. And I went to Franciscan University, studied history and theology, didn't know what to do with my life after history. I was like, what do I do? So I prayed and went to nursing school in Buffalo. And that's when I met Mike. But before that, I was lonely. I was missing the community of Franciscan. And I was like Googling young adult groups. There weren't many in the area. So I was like, I need to make one. And as an introvert, if I can do it, you all can do it. So if you need community, create it. And so I, of course, named it after Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati, Western New York. And my friend and I went out and would just invite people. And we would say at the meetings, your homework is to bring another person back. And it grew.
That's brilliant.
Grew. Yes.
That's fun.
It was, and it grew to like 60 people a week. We had it weekly. And Mike came in.
60 people a week?
It was amazing.
From nothing to 60 people a week?
So if it's on your heart, create it. And then Mike came in, and this is all in the 24th year. Stop. I should add that.
The Frassati group started in your 24th year?
24th year.
And Frassati groups are a thing now. Did you tap into that, or did you start that? Because they're a thing now.
Tapped in. Okay. They were all around, and based it off on a few.
Amazing.
And then when he came in, I was just the way he talked to each woman, not just me, with such love and reverence and kindness. I remember every other man I had talked to, it was almost like either a desperation or they wanted something else. But with Mike, it was just for who each person was. And we started dating. 3 weeks before we started dating, I knew he was the one, and then he asked.
So did I.
And then
wait, you did too?
Oh,
was it like a Saint Zelly Martin, like, this is the one I have, or was it like?
I was like, I'm marrying this man.
Like, yeah, me too.
Yes,
really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then 5 months after dating, he proposed.
Nice.
So, but throughout that, there were periods of, for both of us, loneliness and that hope, that desire, but also wondering, God, where are you in this too? Because it can be so lonely, and that discernment. And we were older,
We got married at 26.
Yeah,
right?
26. So it was I when growing up thought I'd be married at 21, younger, but
Right, especially a Franciscan.
It-
I went to
everyone-
Texas A&M, which is like,
yes.
we jokingly call it the Steubenville of the South because it's huge.
Yes.
And so it's this sense of like, if you don't have a ring by your senior year, like that's,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we broke up like right after my senior year. Whoa, okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so it
Amazing.
on the heart a lot. But throughout that, I would discern the religious life too. I was like, am I meant to be like Saint Therese?
Yeah, of
the
course.
Carmel- So
Yeah.
the big order for me was the missionaries of charity. I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in like them. Like
Mother Teresa's my patron.
No,
Yes.
of course she is.
Of course
I
she
love
is,
it.
right? Like,
Yeah,
I love her.
So
can't even with this. I
and
can't.
and then even within our dating, both of us were still open to the Holy Spirit, the call. And I would still visit and volunteer with the missionaries of charity. But I just, marriage is, praise God, such a beautiful vocation. It's how Christ has spoken to me, how he's bringing me to holiness, bringing both of us to holiness. And I'm so thankful it's with you. What about you, your perspective of it all?
Let me say something real quick. If you guys want to watch her becoming holy, the Lord has called you to share so much of this. Like, you share so much of the day-to-day nitty-gritty of what your life looks like and how you serve each other. Like this is like one example that's just really stuck with me, when you were like, I just want a few bites of food, and you came with a charcuterie board with 3 gorgeous bites. Or there's this one time where you were like, I actually don't remember exactly how it went down, but you were like, I'm just going to put all the dry dishes away so that you don't have to look at a cluttered counter. Like little things like that, where it's like, this is what it looks like as a man to lay down your life for your bride. And you work a full-time job. So you homeschool, like you guys are in it, but you still are able to sacrifice so beautifully. And you can like, this is going to get into too much theology, so I'll just briefly say the meaning of the word woman is to open, and the meaning of the word man is to remember. And when men forget, women close, but you remember, so you open. And watching the way that you remember your call to lay down your life like Christ loves his church. What is that? Ephesians 5. Love your wives like, what is it? I'm like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Google it. Ephesians 5, okay? Ephesians 5, 30 something. But you remember your call in these beautiful little ways. Or like, you'll come home with roses and you have like 4 bouquets. Like
In a
these
bunch. I
need
little
to get
ways.
them all.
You'll come home you're like, Mike surprised us with this Lego Lord of the Rings thing. And you and Peter are on the floor building this massive Lego. And I'm like, it's just Tuesday. Like, it's not even Christmas. Like, there's just this sense of like, how can I love you well? And that's the call of the man's heart. And as he's remembering, she's opening, and you can watch it happen in this dance online, because you're called to share. Not every person's called to share it, but you guys are answering that call. So if you want to know what it looks like, ladies and gents, it's on Instagram stories on her corner of the internet. It's just so amazing to watch what marriage is meant to look like. And I have watched you through your content. So I'm sure there's, of course, more that I don't see, but I've just, in the content that you're posting, because you're so authentic, I've watched you become holier in the last 6 years. Like, I've seen it happen, especially carrying a cross that I was also carrying. So I know what it feels like. It's you and Bill Dunahee. I'm like, you people are carrying this cross that I'm carrying. So I know what it feels like. And you're doing a really good job. Like, I can vouch for how, and I've watched it, and I know that it's the dynamic and the grace that's making you both so holy. It's just, and not holy in the like, holy in the true sense, not the pious, like, oh, this is unattainable, but holy in the sense of like, I am more like Christ. So I'm not afraid to suffer because I trust the resurrection is coming. And I'm willing to walk into this valley of tears with him because I know, and I have hope, true hope, that heaven is where we're going. I've watched it happen on the internet, in her Instagram stories, if you want to see what it looks like. So anyways.
Hello. Did you guys know that I am very active over on Instagram? My handle is @discerningmarriage, and it is the only platform where I personally engage with my DMs. I personally engage with my comments. I kind of joke in my heart that I'm running a bit of an advice column in my DMs, because people will trust me with their stories, which is so amazing. And then I get the opportunity to just give them my feedback on what's going on. It's one of my favorite parts of this work. So if you have a question for me directly, please go onto Instagram and send me that DM. It would bless me so much if you would follow me. The way that Instagram works is that the more that people engage with the content, the more that it puts it in the face of people who may end up needing it. So my heart is so much to evangelize and to bring the gospel to the people who need it. And you would bless me so much by helping me in that mission, by engaging on Instagram. I would be so grateful. Hello, hello. I am so excited to tell you about a course for people who are discerning marriage. If you are in a serious relationship or if you are engaged, we have an offering for you. This is called Next Step, a course for discerning marriage, and it is based on John Paul II's ideas of what marriage prep should look like in his ideal world. I am so excited to have taken John Paul II's ideas, interspersed them with my marriage counselor practical hat, if you will, the tips that I have to practically live this out. My team and I have put together an incredible resource for you to be able to discern marriage, practically speaking. Please check out Next Step if this is for you, or if you know someone and you love someone who is actively discerning marriage, please consider gifting them Next Step so we can get this in the hands of as many people who are discerning marriage as possible.
And
Thanks for sharing. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for those words. And
Yeah.
Mike has just taught me how to love better, and through his, and people see that often these stories and they're like, but that seems unattainable. But this is years of hard work. This is years of getting up early and sacrificing and like
The discipline.
daily in and out that he has sacrificed, and our family bears the fruit of that. You gift us the fruit of that hard work, but and the grace, that openness, childlike, pure heart. I feel like in our family, I'm like, I need to step it up because him and Peter, they're just so good. And it's an honor to be your wife and you love in the details. You really do.
Thank you.
You do.
That's it, people. Okay. And I've also watched your son grow up because you've been willing to let us watch it, right? And so I have a daughter who's 9 months younger than hers. Again, I know because I used to be very obsessed with the timeline with fertility stuff. So I used to be like, how far apart? Anyway, so the numbers mattered a lot. So he was born in May. My daughter was born in January. So they're exactly 9 months apart, which you may not even know because, okay, again, somewhat one-sided with how the internet works, but that's okay. So he's 9 months older than my daughter. So I know developmentally what that age is typically capable of. And I've literally gotten to watch him grow up the last 6 years. And I've watched him step into his own masculine genius because he knows how to do it. And I teach this stuff, right? I have master's in theology, master's in counseling. Like I know it, but watching it lived is miraculous. And it's like that G.K. Chesterton quote, like the most extraordinary thing in the world is an ordinary man and an ordinary woman and their ordinary children. And getting like a window into the Couche home, watching Peter serve, like when they take you out to the teas, I'm sorry, that is the cutest thing in the entire. You have this dude and this like 9-year-old boy and their mama at high tea. Like, this is England and I am here for it. I drug my husband to high tea at Kensington Palace and I was like, I know you can do it. Anyways, so it's just and like watching him step into his masculine heart and because he knows what it looks like because you are willing to do the work and love her. And he just is swept into that. That is how the family's meant to work, people. Like, and again, another reason why I love the internet for this beautiful way is that people who have no example of what it looks like can look at you and see it, right? Like you're giving them through your generosity a window into what it really looks like. And this is what, if any of you want to come to Fresh Start Online, you'll get to see all these amazing talks. And the MC just said that you can find people on the internet if you consume good content who can show you what it looks like. And this is one of them, right? Be mindful of what you consume because you can also learn things that are not great, but you can fill your feeds with things that are life-giving. Like I come away from Claire's page holier every time. I'm not exaggerating because I get a nugget to like love my husband better, to pray more deeply, to like, I just,
thank you. That's my goal. So thank you for those.
It's
those
working.
words. Thank you. Yes. No, it's.
I can't believe this is happening, people.
It really is. It is.
So what I would love is we've heard so much about Claire's story. Well, I have because I've consumed her content forever. So I would love to hear your side of this because what I love about discerning marriage is the stories are different. Like you came to the same conclusion, but it's not the same story.
Hands down.
So I would love if you would be willing to share with us. Okay, first of all, I don't even know how old you are. How old were you when this 24 thing was happening?
I was 23.
23.
No way!
Yeah, a little younger.
Did you? No way. So you were dating her during your 24th year?
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask also how old you people are right now? When were you born? What year?
I'm 88.
I'm 89. Are you?
Yeah.
When is your birthday? Do you want to tell the
24th.
internet? I am April 8th. We are so close, people.
Yeah.
Our 24th years overlapped.
I know it did. It did.
Yep. There's something about
It
that.
is. It's amazing.
I don't think I can carry on, so I'm going to need you to start talking
Yeah,
while I
okay.
compose myself. Please
So-
tell us your discernment story,
Yeah,
Mike,
sure.
while I breathe.
I dated on and off through college. And then one of my friends was leaving that Buffalo area, and he's like, I know you play guitar. I want you to play in this adoration thing we do once a month. And it's around the Diocese of Buffalo. And so I was like, okay, like it'd be nice to do, but I'm not really like into worship music or anything.
You're like, do I want to do this?
Yeah,
that
right.
song's going to be stuck in my head for weeks, people.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And so I started doing that. And then at one of the meetings, they said, there's this new group for Saudi, Western New York starting. And I was like, that sounds exactly like what I want. A community that I can be a part of. We're talking about the gospel every week. We're getting together. We're praying every week and sharing. And so I went, and that's where I met Claire. And I remember thinking, like, okay, she started this group. She's amazing. If I'm going to date her, I need to be friends first. Like, this is it. Because, like, if things go really badly, like, I still want her to be able to be a part of this community and have all the friends and everything.
How intentional. Look at that, people. Just
And that
crying in the
was
corner over
like
here.
something like different than past, right?
Meaning
It
your
just like,
mindset was
yeah,
different?
And it's like, okay, I need to be friends first. I need to
Wow.
be very intentional. And so, I mean, we were talking about it last night, how like one of our mutual friends, Claire, called and was like, how come he hasn't asked me out yet?
Wait, hold on. Claire called you to ask about the other guy.
No,
You
I
called the other guy to ask about mine.
Yeah.
I was like, why hasn't he yet? No, it was. But
And so I was like, okay, this is like more than a sign, right?
Yes,
It's like, okay,
yeah.
now's the time. And so I asked
so
her out.
ladies, drop the handkerchief if you need to. Like
Yeah,
truly, it's a big like prompt if you need
Yeah.
to.
Okay.
Truly.
We're going to come back to this, but I get this question and my Q&As on Instagram all the time.
Mm-hmm.
With that language, how do I drop the hanky on like in an online setting or when I'm online dating? I get that phrasing, drop the hanky all the time.
Yes.
And I give my thoughts, but I would love a place like a short where I could direct people. Can we talk about how best to drop the hanky in more of a digital setting?
Yes. I think openness is key.
Yeah.
And I just, I love body language and learning about it. And so I read a book called Couche, and she brings up how people need 13 physical cues if you're interested in someone before they realize it. 13. Not just we think we're like showing someone we're into them
right.
with like making eyes 13 times.
Yeah,
So
on
even
average, yeah.
more so when there isn't that physical presence online, that you need to be more direct. And rejection is okay. It might not be meant to be, but definitely let someone know you're interested. Ask them to meet up. Just be direct. It simplifies everything. Would you add anything?
No,
with
I
that?
think that, yeah, you have to be direct. Communication is key, both before and after.
And for
marriage,
men
right?
and women. Women,
Right.
be
This is
direct. This is that you. So I think women, there's a beauty. We want to be pursued, and that can still happen within telling men that you are interested. That pursuit can continue, but you can initiate 100%. 100%. I'm a firm believer in that.
So am I. So can we spend some time talking about how active receptivity is a necessary part of dating in this time, right? In 2025 and beyond. Because so many men are so wrapped up in the evils of pornography, the excesses of gaming, the lack of being able to learn how to connect, the crisis of fatherhood, absences, and divorce. So men aren't taught how to step into their pursuit. And so even though it is not necessarily the way that it is actually just straight up not the way that God designed the dance to be, sometimes he needs her to express her interest so that he gets the courage to act. Can we speak a little into that active receptivity and how it is still feminine to make the first move in a sense? Because I think women are hesitant or feel like it would start the relationship off in an awkward way, or feel like it would give him the wrong idea or emasculate him. But I think, and it's clear you agree, it's necessary sometimes to have that kind of compassion on the masculine heart. Can we speak into that,
And
please?
I love that compassion it is. And women have such a gift of hospitality, and that part of that, it's written into our whole being, that receptivity, that openness.
Literally our wombs, people, it exists to hold another.
Exactly. And so to offer that hospitality to the other, even if it, like Mike had the idea of friends first, even with the mindset of getting to know a person, remembering that this is a person to know and love, and to just not be afraid to initiate. But I would love to hear from a man's side how that is still feminine, that to initiate or let people know that you're interested.
Yeah, I think it's important for women to sometimes say, "Hey, I'm here. Like, if you're interested, like, let's go." And then it's up to the man to just continue that, right? It is.
Good point.
And so, like, it's there, and instead of the guessing and all of the games that can happen, right?
I hate the games, hate the drama.
Right. It's like, it's very clear. And I think that is needed today because there's so much lack of clarity today in a lot of arenas, right? But this is one of those times where it's like, we can provide the clarity and then we can move forward. And if we think about it, it's also a moment, right? That initial pursuit or of like that, like dropping the hanky is a moment, but then you have to pursue through marriage too.
Nice.
So it's like when you get wrapped up like, well, he's not pursuing me. And it's like, that's a moment in time, right? But now he's to pursue you for the rest of your life, if that's who you're called to.
Definitely.
I love it. So in summary, it is feminine to drop that hanky by initiating, hey, I am interested in you. Do you have language that women who are nervous? I know you're an etiquette instructor. You guys might not know that. Go look her up. An etiquette instructor. I've also watched that dream unfold. In part, I imagine, because of the way your fertility story played out. Because if you had 9 babies by now, you would not have gone to etiquette school. And the Lord allowed you to get this dream met because of this fertility story he wrote. Woo, I love, we're never far from that, people. When it's never far from my heart. Now I can talk about it. Okay. We're back. So can you please give some people from an etiquette perspective, language? You do such a good job on your page, giving clear words. And you and Melissa, another creator, made this amazing friendship guide that has prompts at the back. Look that up if you want some friends. We'll put a link somewhere in the something. But you did a really good job of giving prompts.
Yes.
Can you please give our women some prompts and our men that if you see this prompt, it means she's interested. Safe bet, people you can pursue, please.
If she invites you to do X, Y, or Z, I would love to get to know you more. Let's get some coffee. Let's go for a walk. And for my introverted gals and guys, walks are amazing because it's side by side. So people and introverts actually open up more side by side versus face to face.
Wait, really? This is a thing?
This is a
My
thing.
husband's introverted and I'm the most extroverted person I know.
So go for a walk with him. And
Really?
he'll open up more because they feel safer instead of, it's almost more like, it's too intense for some introverts face to face. But if you get to know ask questions. I think just getting to know the heart of that person. And if there's an opening, ask them to do something. I think, what would you say?
Yeah, and let's get a little more creative than just like, let's go to coffee or a restaurant. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
we did a sausage making class once. It was a cooking class in New York, and that was the only one that was open.
And then
so.
the symphony, everything. It's
Yeah,
just
we've
like
done-
get creative and
Right.
get to
Pursue
know
the
them.
arts a bit. Like, do something that you're going to be interested in, not just like sit and eat over a cold piece of pork or something. Right? Like,
Make the pork.
yeah,
You
right.
can eat it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, creativity.
And I like the walking too, because I think of like road to Damascus. Like Jesus accompanied us on the way, right? And we were sharing stories. And we have a priest friend who's a therapist as well. And he said when we were struggling with a friend who had some suicidal thoughts, he goes, get him walking. Because the mind processes things while we move. And so that's another great reason.
The mind processes while we move. I'm also a therapist, but I had not heard that particular connection. I love it. When we're body, soul people, right? Humans
Yeah.
are body,
So true.
soul. Beautiful. How many messages would you say that a woman ought to initiate? And I know it's different with every person. Nobody take this as like, ba, ba, ba. But just because directives are helpful in such a
Yes.
vulnerable space, how many messages would you say it would be appropriate for her to initiate before it would be like he either isn't ready, he's not interested either, and doesn't have the courage to say it. How many would you say is
I would
a
say
goal?
3. I would say
I was
3.
thinking 3.
Yes,
Okay.
before. Definitely. But don't be afraid just to show your interest, especially if it's online.
Yeah.
And you have that safety of a screen, so don't worry,
Right.
but just if your life's too short, just be clear, speak truth in love. That St. Paul says, speak truth in love. So that just share your heart in love and be open to receiving if it's a yes or no, and then move on. Just move on to, if not, don't take it too deeply to heart or sit in that pain too long. Just rebound easily.
That's it. And here's what I want to say, and I say this in my next step course, but I'll give you guys a window, that we need to reframe relationships or correspondences, whatever. We need to reframe those ending as successful discernments, because if you're actually discerning properly, then what you're doing is seeking God's heart. So is this yes or is this no? And in our minds, yes is success and no is a failure. But if you actually apply the logic, finding the answer is the success, and what the answer is secondary. So is this a yes or is this a no? And if you can confidently say yes or no, that is a success no matter what the answer is. So I had not actually, until this moment, I was, in talking about relationship discernments, that was how I usually frame it. But it's actually true in all of this hanky dropping situation, right? And I have a friend who I got to watch him do this over and over as he was integrating into his life, a young single friend seeking marriage, who was interested in getting married. And so he would do this very intentional pursuit of women. And when they realized, he or her realized that it wasn't a good fit, he'd be like, and we're done. Like no matter where it was. And then but because he kept emotional and physical boundaries, he could just move on to the next one. And it wasn't a rebound in the sense of like, and now I'm eating chocolate because I'm like, and I'm going to use you to make me feel better. No, it was just like, I'm sad, but I'm also fine. Like we're just gonna, and I want to discern marriage, and the answer is no for you. Check. Now I'm gonna try you. Oh, the answer is no. Check. And I watch this man. I lost count because he did it so often. I was so proud of him. But guess what? He's engaged. Okay, so it works.
Beautiful.
But he had the freedom to be able to do that, and it was never too deep. In fact, he might not have even actually ever gotten into a committed relationship. It might have just been in that dating stage, and they just finally realized before they even got into a commitment that the answer kept being no. And to me, I was like, this is a success.
It is.
Sir. Because if you know what you want, why aren't we just going after it, right?
Exactly.
But if you keep boundaries, you can go after
There's
it.
freedom.
Was it you last night at the panel or Jackie who said, if you keep the boundaries, the physical, especially physical kissing boundaries, but also emotional, you can do this with multiple people, date multiple people over and over because you're not, it doesn't violate anyone's dignity to do it.
Exactly.
I don't remember who it was.
Yeah,
but
I think it was Jackie.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes,
was so
right?
good.
Yeah, she said that. And I
So
was like,
good.
that's I agree with the principle, but that reasoning behind it, I was like, that's the reason why. And I just couldn't.
There's freedom in
Yeah.
that.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And dating is fun, adventurous, and when you
Fun.
especially
Girl, I did not have fun. Did you have fun?
I love to. So,
Yeah.
Well,
did. I love- yeah,
Good.
I
Don't be
loved
ashamed
it.
of it.
I
That's
loved
amazing.
it. I
You know what's
loved
ironic?
it.
You're an introvert and you loved it. I'm an extrovert and I hated it. I was
Wow,
just talking to Kristen Combo,
interesting.
who's here with Candid Catholic. Okay, conversation for another time, about how she loved dating. And I was like, really? Because I sucked at it. Like I hated it. I was awkward. I always wanted to get tooted too fast. I was like, people, we can't. Someone one time asked me, are you a messy eater? As we were at dinner. And in my mind, I was like, yep. But I think I'm just not going to tell you the truth and we just won't go on another date again. And I still to this day talk about that guy because at dinner when I
funny.
spill and I'm like, oh, so glad I didn't marry him. And so glad you didn't have to marry me and watch me spill food for the rest of our lives. Like it just, anyway, I was so bad at it. I hated it. I loved dating my husband after the first few dates. But the first few dates was still brutal. We have that's a story for another time. One day I'll tell you the story of our first date. Woo, so embarrassing. But you as an introvert loved it.
I loved it. I did.
Amazing.
I did. It's
Why?
fun.
I wonder. Why did you love it and I hated it? Why? As introvert and
don't-
extrovert.
I know.
That's opposite.
We need a case study on
Okay.
this.
Love me a good case study. Okay, so some people love it. You loved it. It was fun.
did.
For some people, it's fun. But if it's not fun, you're not doing it wrong. It's just, I don't know. We'll get to the case study and get back to you. Okay, so
Yes.
sometimes it's fun. Did you have fun?
I loved it.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave. I want to hear people's experience. So in the comments,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
yes, I want to hear if you think dating is fun. It is.
Please leave comments. What if I'm the only one who thought
No,
it was
you are
awful?
not. You are not.
I don't mind. I can step into that, but maybe
No.
everyone thinks it's fun. I've just been operating under like it's miserable, but no.
No, I've had awkward dates for sure. But
Did it still feel fun though? Were you still
I
like,
still,
I love it. Have a good time.
I think the fun part was like detailing it after with girlfriends. I'm like, then this happened, then this. What do you? So I think there was, but there with that was the freedom that I wasn't passing those physical boundaries. So I
Yes.
was like, we could like make it a little whimsical after,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
laughing
yeah.
because it
I love
was
that
so
word.
awkward. But
Yeah, I love that word. And okay, again, plug. I'm true. She didn't ask me to do this, but I just love her stuff. She and Melissa, who's going to be contributing, she's a therapist. My story with her, we have a mutual friend, random. So we've like connected, but also never met in person. She's precious. She's a therapist and they collaborated on a friendship guide. And friendship, as you're saying this, like it was fun because you had people to live this community with. And I also, like my girlfriends and I prayed this, we called it a super novena, also something I've never shared on the internet because people get a window in my sweet
love
neurotic heart.
this.
We prayed this super novena. I know you have this sweet little prayer that you prayed. I'm like, well, I can't tell people what I did because it was really intense. And prayed this super novena, 90 days, this
God
novena that I
bless
wrote.
you.
My girlfriends and I
Beautiful.
all prayed it together to all get married together. And we literally all were engaged for 2 weeks together.
What?
And then we all got married within 9 months of each other.
Wow.
And it was so fun. So if you don't have friends, I know some of you are listening to this and you're like, I'm so lonely. I am not joking when I say that this guide has been so beautifully crafted. So beautifully crafted. And it's necessary, right? We're living in an age where we're not taught the art of friendship anymore. And like children spend their school hours on screens. Like they don't know they're not taught how to play. They
It's so
don't know.
true.
Anyways, if you are lonely, please get this help. They wrote it so beautifully. It's like sitting down for a cup of tea with you. And there's
Thank you.
prompts. I love me a good prompt. Because I'm awkward and I don't know what to say. So I need someone to tell me what to say.
So are we.
So
That's
I
why we
can
wrote
just-
them.
I just need someone to tell me what to do next. And there are other people who want friends. And this is what I keep
Yes.
telling people. If you want it, someone else wants it too.
Hands
But like
down.
you said with Frasati, sometimes you just have to be the one to
Initiate.
do it.
Yes. It takes effort. I think we're so used to that instant gratification. We need to make ourselves uncomfortable a bit in the friendships. We need to put ourselves out there too, not just dating, but within friendships.
Right. And be the actors of our own lives.
Yes.
Right? Instead of
yes.
consuming all the time.
I laugh because it sounds scary, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like you
It
have to.
is.
But also, what awesome thing doesn't also come with sacrifice, right? Like we watch the Olympics and we're like sitting on our couches like, go Michael Phelps.
yes,
But we're also like, but how much work did he put into this? Like this was not fun for a lot of the time. It's fun now at the end, but it takes a while to get there. And so the same, of course, is true with anything worth having.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm inspired in this Jubilee of Hope that get like a woman doing the hard work in her single years to open her heart to the Father, to allow him to speak her dignity, her goodness, her beauty into her heart will inspire the hearts of men around her in ways she has no idea. Like you didn't know this was happening. I mean, clearly you had feelings for the guy, but it wasn't necessarily like hanky. Like it was like you just saw her and were drawn in through the grace of God. And you did the rise up. Now I'm thinking about Hamilton. Okay. But you like did it, right? Like it inspired you.
Definitely. And that's years of work, and God uses everything in our story.
Yes.
He really does. Nothing
Yes.
is wasted with God.
That's amazing.
And he used every step along the way in Mike's story and mine with the saints and those daily prayers, that yearning, that Jesus Christ, King of all nations, send me a prince who will make me a princess worthy for you, my king and my love. I would pray that daily, and God uses every ounce of that grace, and then just to have the openness to that receptive heart.
I'm going to let you say that prayer again because I just was having a moment with, I don't know how God brought me to this place in my life right now, but I'm going to let you say the prayer again so that someone else can just hear the prayer without watching me have a moment.
Jesus Christ, King of all nations, send me a prince who will make me a princess worthy for you, my king and my love. So daily prayer throughout the day. Some days it was throughout the day. I would pray that.
When did you compose that?
It was
How old are you?
maybe 22, 23. I was sitting next to a friend, and my friend Jess was saying she heard that Jesus loves the title King of all nations. And that was the deepest longing in my heart at the time, to find just someone so good and a holy man of God who would lead me to the King himself. And that was falling in love with Jesus, for making him my first love. He is my King, and to find a prince, and we all are that prince and princess, and to step into that role. While I was praying that each day, I knew I myself needed to step into that role of princess too, for the prince. So yes, to enter fully into your role at Christ.
Okay, and I'm just going to plug Fresh Start Online, because you spoke so beautifully about the relationship between that prayer and modesty last night. So I'm going to plug that. We'll put a link in there if you're interested in hearing more about this. We don't have time right now, but I loved how you said last night that it allowed you to be formed in the ways of the Lord in other areas of your life, because you were praying this prayer and allowing your daughterhood to be at the forefront of your mind, which affected the other ways that you behaved. And it's amazing how good prayer just allows you to become more alive. I say that, of course, the saints have been talking about this forever. Like this is like Christianity 101. Okay, like prayer transforms you, but it's so fun to watch it happen, right?
Yes,
like it's so. Oh, me of little faith. Okay. Like, but how fun is it to get to see it? So anyway, I'm going to plug that, because that was a really great conversation. So I usually end my episodes asking for one practical tip for someone. I would love, you can take this anywhere, but if you don't know where to take it, because I didn't prep them in advance, my preference would be that you would give something around the friendship arena, and that you would give something around this breakup healing arena. If you'd be willing, now you're in the hot seat. But if the Lord's taking you somewhere else, just do that. But could you give one practical tip before we wrap up?
Sure.
Please?
I think it would be run to the sacraments, go to Mass, and make every effort possible to go to daily Mass.
Here's my thing with single people, okay? We're like every effort possible, but I'm also like, you're single, so your time is your own.
Yes.
If your job is keeping you from going to daily Mass, is there something we can do about your job so that you can go to daily Mass, right? When you're in your vocation, especially if it's marriage, you're probably not going to get to go to daily Mass, especially if you have 12 kids in 8 years. Like, your time will not be your own. You're single, I say with the love of a big sister. If you think you can't go to daily Mass, let's reevaluate the other things in your life so that you can go to daily Mass, right? Like, because like, you're right. Like, that's where we encounter the bridegroom. So I bet Claire and her DMs would be able to help you figure out your schedule to get to go to daily Mass. So, okay, Claire.
I think with friendships, specifically with dating and then those single years, I think something really important is when your friends see those red flags in a person. So to listen to what the people who know you and love you and care for you the most have to say too, just to be aware of that and to take it to heart too.
And it takes such humility, right? Because almost inevitably, there's this defensiveness that rises up on behalf of the person you're dating against your family and friends. And if we all step back and take a look, I'm like, you've known these people forever. You've known this guy for a blink. Why are we? So if you're tempted to not take that advice, pray into that. Like,
Exactly.
why
At
are
least
you
a
being
prayer
defensive,
into it.
right?
Yes,
Like, and maybe it's
exactly.
because your family's wrong,
Yes.
but maybe it's because there's your heart knows there's something, and you just needed someone to externalize it, and you're afraid of what's going to happen. But man, it would be so much better to just go through a breakup than to marry someone who's not a good fit.
Amen.
Yes.
As a marriage counselor, sitting on this side of the couch from couples who
I bet.
they saw the signs before. I have never met a couple in crisis or a divorced couple who was like, I was blindsided by this. If you have the eyes to see, if you have the courage, the signs are there. You might be numbing it with sex and you can't see it, but they're there. As we're wrapping up, we did not touch on this. We're following the spirit here. This is St. Jane of Chantal. Okay. I love her. I'm going to tell you guys this sweet little story. I'm going to tell you people this sweet little story. And then we're going to wrap this episode up. But Frances de Sales is the inspiration behind Finding Philothea, which you can find that, you can hear that in Fresh Start Online. Okay. Because you told the story last night.
So Frances DeSales and Jane of Chantal were besties. So just another beautiful way the Lord's weaving our stories. Okay. So I have a dear friend who spent his college summer job money rescuing relics. I'm not joking you. Because he found out about these people selling relics online. That was super irreverent. So we used all of his like pocket money from working at the Pines to rescue a bunch of relics. And a lot of them he gave away to parishes. Some of them he kept. He kept both Frances DeSales and Jane of Chantal. And I was really falling in love with Frances DeSales when we were going through our infertility struggles because I had read Introduction to the Devout Life, whatever. So he was like, I don't remember if I asked or if he offered. And he was like, you may borrow Frances DeSales until you get pregnant. Well, then we got a diagnosis of secondary infertility and we kept not getting pregnant. And he was like, I love you. And I know that this is a really hard cross, but this is taking a long time and I need him back. But I can give you Jane instead. And I was like, and I didn't know who she was. And I was like, she's the second class citizen. Frances is the holy one. Fine, Lord, how dare you, but I'll take her. He was like, you can really keep her until you conceive because I don't have a devotion to her either. So, okay. So I was like, all right, move in, Jane.
Oh, Jane, God bless you.
I know. Then we ended up pursuing adoption. The middle name of the birth mom of our daughter is Jane Frances.
Wow.
And then after we adopted our daughter, I read this amazing book by Colleen Carroll Campbell. I will have my producer link it, called The Heart of Perfection, where she goes into, she first wrote My Sisters the Saints. Have you read this book?
No, I haven't. I've heard of it. I still need to.
Okay. She
Add
needs to
that
read
to
it.
the-
She
to
needs
the
to read it, and
comments
then I'm
too.
sure is going to make a reel about it because it's so good. Okay. So anyways, she wrote about Jane Chantal. Her story impacted me. I was like, I love this girl. I have this girl on my mantle. Like I just like didn't connect who she, okay. Ooh, I love her. And then it just became, and she loves me. And then it just became this beautiful love story. Okay. So we were sitting here and I was like, Jane came to Fresh Start. We also have a first class relic of St. John Paul II. Love him so much, but he's working in the chapel. So Jane, I can carry her around because she's less known than Jane. So I'm carrying Jane around. I like never do this. She never leaves my house, but I brought her. And I was like, you guys can hold Jane. And then Mike made the connection. Wait, but Frances DeSales and Finding Philothea. So this is just another story
Full
about
circle.
the saints
Yes.
who just like are weaving these beautiful stories. So anyway, I hadn't told you that story, but now I had to.
Thank you. They're make the saints your best friends.
Make the saints your best friends and watch the story on Fresh Start Online Fresh Start Online, please, of Mike's story with Frances DeSales and how he wooed his bride. It's so beautiful. Okay, but I got to wrap this up, people. So thank you. Where can people find you?
At Finding Philothea is our Instagram, and then findingphilothea.com is our blog.
And if any of you people have taken Next Step or know about Next Step, there's an article by Claire in the Next Step about her rule of life. So her blog is amazing. It's like such good content. So please go also check that out. I know that people don't read blogs anymore, but if you're going to read a blog, read this one because it's so good. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm done plugging
Thank
you.
you for having
Love
us.
it so much. Thank you for coming.
Yep,
thank you. Y'all, this was so good. Thank you. Okay. I have to do this closing. This was awesome. And I hope that you loved it as much as I loved it. Praise God. I hope this also encourages you to just like send the DM to that influencer, send the DM to that content creator, because you have no idea the story. They're real people. Okay. They're real people. They're doing this work because they love you, generally speaking. And if they get the chance to love you individually, it blesses them. It blesses you. So take
Definitely.
this is your sign, people. Okay. I'm so happy. I'm going to sign off. Until next time, stay close to the heart of Jesus and be not afraid. Bye.